Hey folks, it's time for the quote of the day, and as you can hear, there is a storm going. I had planned on quoting someone entirely different today, a little known philosopher, but I came out here, and as soon as I started to do my videos, storm started. And I'm not really one to take like signs and things like that, but sitting in the storm, June 27th, getting ready to record quote of the day, I have done this before last year, and I reposted it already if you want to go check it out. And I ask that you do. I posted a video for quote of the day on Helen Keller's birthday, quoting Helen Keller. Now, if you're not sure who that is, please go check out the other video. I go into it a little bit more detail. I think most people know the name, at least, know a little bit about her story. That video and that quote are important for what I'm going to say today. Another Helen Keller quote for her birthday. But if you can go check that out, please do. I'm gonna give you her quote here, but I'm not gonna really talk about it. I just want it to set up the next quote. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that quote to you, the one that I used last year, so that we can then get into our new, fresh, if you will, Helen Keller quote of the day for June 27th. Helen Keller once said, "Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved." Now, again, I'm not going to go into too much on this. I just want to say I absolutely agree with her. I think that it's a very important message, and it's one that people need to hear today. I think that there is a message of ease, and we're going to get into that more here in a second, that is out there. A message of trying to take it easy. A message of if it doesn't suit you, if it doesn't make you happy, then get rid of it. But oftentimes when people do that, they discard the lessons that they so desperately need because they want only to look at the good things. They completely and totally bypass or miss the opportunity for growth in the difficult things. Now, for today, this quote is just too important for me, and it ties directly to the one from last year. But over the last year, I have seen a proliferation of a messaging that honestly it just drives me crazy every time I see it. I've made many videos about it, where people get on here and they put forward this idea of how empowering and how great it is to be able to do things on your own, to be able to be alone, to make all your decisions and do all the things and not have to worry about anybody else's feelings. And you see this a lot when it comes to like the man versus woman dynamic. You see women out there that are saying, well, look at how great I am without a man. Look how great I am on my own. Look how great I can do whatever the fuck I want. And then you see men basically posting the same thing. They're both very, Andrew Tate-ish in the way that they come off, where they just vilify the opposing sex, and they don't ever bother to think about that. They don't ever bother to think about the fact that they both come from a place of vitriol and hatred, or at least disregarding the fact that the other could be good. And you see this on both sides. So I just want to make that clear. I'm not picking a side here. I think both of them are completely and totally moronic. But I think that it's important to understand that message is out there, and that a lot of times it seeps into things that it shouldn't. A lot of times it seeps into things that are honestly toxic and hurtful to other people. Imagine being somebody, and I know there's somebody out there right now that's going to watch this video that is alone. She feels alone. She needs help. And there are people out there that are spreading this message of how great it is to be alone, how wonderful it is to be on your own, to be how empowering it is, and yet there she sits just needing help, right? Like she just needs somebody to come help. She needs community. She needs someone to come help her and lift her up so she can get on her feet and get going. And yet there are messages out here of how great it is to be alone. And it's that kind of thing that just drives me absolutely fucking bonkers, because people act like doing life alone is somehow like a skill-based thing, like you're somehow better because you can do that. Listen, being able to do shit on your own, and again, this is with people out there that are struggling alone in mind. Being able to do shit on your own is quite literally like baseline easy part, right? Like, and I'm not talking about like making money and things like that, obviously. I'm talking about being able to like get through this world alone. But people tend to make it about that, right? They tend to have this message on social media, especially about, how empowering it is and how great it is, and you can do so much. You get to be you finally, because you don't have to worry about anybody else's feelings. This is so preposterously stupid that I just like. It's hard for me to put into words. I'm making a video where I'm trying to put things into words, and it's difficult for me to do that because it is so mind-numbingly stupid. Nothing is better alone. The key to survival as a species is as a group. The key to understanding your place in this world is by looking at your place amongst others, not just by yourself. Because as I've stated before numerous times, it doesn't matter. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter at all if you go off and become the shining pinnacle of humanity, but you just keep it to yourself off in your own little corner while you continue to glow up. It doesn't fucking matter. If you don't give back to people, if you don't help people, if you don't pour into people, then it doesn't matter how fucking great you are. You're off there doing it on your own. And this messaging drives me nuts. And that's why I raise my voice. I get animated about it, because there are people out there that don't want to be alone and they need help. And they feel alone right now. And yet here come these motherfuckers with this messaging of how great it is and how empowering it is. And you're like, no, I'm alone right now. I'm alone right now and I feel like I'm failing. I feel like life is too much for me because I'm alone right now. I know that it's great for you, but for people that are alone right now, that is a horrifying, terrifying message. And it shouldn't be one that we continue to lift up. And that is why, for today's quote of the day, Helen Keller once said, "Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much." Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. And sometimes, you think about a message like that, you think about those kind of words, and sometimes you have to recognize that doing that little bit is the thing that gets the greater thing going, right? Like showing up alone, showing up as you, as the individual, and doing that little bit is what actually gets things going. It's, the way an avalanche starts. Just a little bit starts, and then it rolls. And that's what you're trying to do when you're doing it alone. But that's the whole idea. You start to get more and more people, and the more people that do it, the more people that come and help, the more people that support, the more people that actually are engaged and working towards something, the greater the movement is. And this, you can take this for anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be something as nebulous and out there as politics, or it could be something that has to do with your life right now. If you decide that you want to go on a weight loss journey, that's difficult to do, and you can do some on your own, yes, but if everybody around you is like, let's do it together, man, that's fucking awesome. Like, you can really do it. If your whole family is like, you know what, we're going to cut out soda, so nobody else in the house has soda in it, that's fucking powerful, right? Like, that's a movement. And I know, like, people are like, well, that's not really what this means. Yes, that is what it means. It means that together we can support each other. Together we can come together and we can actually make a difference. We can actually change things, whether it be just in the family unit, as yesterday I talked about, the family is a microcosm of society, or if it's on a greater scale, a grander scale, something huge, something as powerful as changing the fucking government that we exist under. You do that together. You do that with more people. You bring people in. You stop separating people into groups. You stop pulling people away because they don't hit your, moral benchmarks that you need them to hit so they can be on your side. You do it together. You do everything with the purpose of trying to bring people together, of trying to create something better, of trying to create change. That's the whole point. That's what Helen Keller is talking about. That's what we should all be thinking about. When we hear stories of the people that we care about feeling alone and unable to make changes, we do what we can to help at every single level, every single time. Happy birthday to Helen Keller again. To the rest of you, please Take care of yourself. Take care of others. I'll talk to you soon.